Happy days, beautiful people. Hope you're doing better. Thank you so much for joining me here on Let's Pop with Iortan. It's Friday, literally the first date of November. I hope you had a beautiful October. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the best radio station, the Black Hot Fire Network. Remember, you can follow us on all the social media platforms to find in and listening to amazing uplifting conversation in regards to redefining Africans as we redefine ourselves. Thank you guys for joining me on TikTok. Remember also you can share this live and invite more people to listening to amazing conversation, mind-blowing, groundbreaking conversation in regards to African identity, African history, and maybe on how we can basically start strategizing to basically redefining Africans as we redefine our minds. And thank you guys for joining me and listening me on the radio, on the network, on YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook. Thank you so much. We're basically starting a conversation. And the topic is Ubuntu. You are because I am. Thank you, Mr. Blackwood Fire, for joining me right away here. I hope you're having a great day and excited for the month. Are you, Mr. Blackwood Fire? Are you there with me?
Yeah, I can hear me. I was muted.
Yeah.
Now you
Happy.
asking
Yeah, I'm asking if you're
happy new
excited for the month.
happy new month to you. I'm always excited every time for the day.
Yes, I
Always
know.
happy.
Hmm.
Always. That's how you live life. You live life always happy, always positive every time.
Mm-hmm.
Straightforward. Anybody get in your way, you knock him out. Like, get your ass out.
That's what's up, guys. You have to be
Right.
excited because it's always a great time to be alive, and we are the change we need to see in the world. Before I start, remember to download our app on the Google Play Store. Using the Android, it's free to download the app, and also if you have an iPhone, kindly stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com to find amazing supplements, and also you can listen in to all our shows. But as you download the app, you'll find on the app section, you on the store section, you're gonna click on it. Another tab will appear, the BHFN Sports Store. When you click on it, it's gonna lead you to another page where you'll find different categories of the supplements that we have. We have four categories of the supplements that we basically have and sell on the network on the website. The vitamins categories, the beauty categories, and the naturals and beverages categories. So definitely what works for you. Mr. Blackwood Fire is basically using the Lion's Mane's supplement right now, right?
I'm using that, the colon cleanse, because
Right.
I sometimes don't eat alkaline like I'm supposed to help my beautiful melanin. So I got to cleanse the
Hmm.
colon, and
Okay.
also I'm using prostate support because as you get older, guys, they say our prostate starts to swell. So I got to get that swelling down. I don't think mine is bad yet, but I believe in being proactive, not reactive when I'm all messed up. So go and get it. We got it. You need it. Go get it. Cause I'm using it. Yeah, and lion's mane, guys, is what it does is redesign the synapses in your brain. So it regrows brain cells and neural pathways. So
Right.
they're very, 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 very good.
Amazing. And also we have the turmeric gummies for $22.90. And also the Seymour's for $25.90. Also our Seymour is a really good supplement. I was basically looking
Yes,
at benefits
you
to
must,
it.
all of it is healthy on there.
Yes,
Look
super
up, look
healthy.
up, look up all of it here at top. I only put the stuff that we need.
Right.
Ashwagandha, CMOS, things that we need. But you're looking up CMOS right there. What there, Tom?
Yes.
What'd you find out?
Yeah, the CMOS, the main ingredient in this health boosting supplement, is a type of seaweed. However, besides CMOS, this formula also enlists the healing power of organic bladderwrack and burdock root. Okay, I'm looking in regards to the benefits to it. Hmm. Okay, this is what it says. It helps to cleanse the blood and lymph system and support the thyroid, boosting immunity and promoting a healthy inflammatory response.
That's why sea moss is good for women because you guys have women
Yes.
in this polluted world they live in, things affect their thyroids. So
Mm,
sea moss cleans the thyroids.
right. It's also a skin healing supplement, helps in digestive aid, and also it helps in the immune boosting in the immune system. So definitely, it's such a good supplement. Should definitely get one for yourself for $25.90. And the
Everything
one,
we sell, guys, is good. And
yeah.
horny goat weed. If you guys are in the mood, you gotta love it, lady. You gotta satisfy that woman. I told you guys, do sex magic. You got to satisfy that woman.
Okay.
You can't be a 1 minute man, a 2 minute man, a 3 or 5 minute man. You got to satisfy that woman
Mhm.
because this is spiritual. I know we laugh, but shout out to the Africans who know this. It's spiritual. So when you're making love with your woman, it's an exchange of energy. Since she
Right.
is the closest thing vibrationally to God, she is. Sorry about your fake Bible and your Quran. She is, especially the black woman. You want to get her in a highly vibratory, orgasmic. Because remember, there's a frequency around her. You want to get her in a highly orgasmic frequency.
Right.
Once you get her there, that's when you can just hug her and she's shaking because she's having orgasm after orgasm after orgasms because you did not what? You did not ejaculate. You constantly satisfied her. So because you got to build her up. No, women are cold, men are hot. These are just the laws of the universe. So once you got her to a percolating, she's orgasmic, takes time to do that. Now you hold her, baby. Think about this, baby. Think about that, baby. Think about this. Now she's in a highly vibratory space, and her magnetic field is off the charts. Now anything she thinks is going to go shoot up as a pattern of light into what they call the ether, and that's going to manifest what you want here quickly because she's highly energetic at that time. She's a now highly functional magnet. That's called sex. They call it sex magic because the Europeans study everything we knew. Tantra, sex magic, or whatever you want to call it. It works. That's how things really work. That's why these white people having all these goofy orgies trying to do it. No, you can't do it like that. You must have the woman that you love. It's got to be a loving connection with this special woman. She's got to be spiritually enlightened, and so do you. So sorry if you're doing it with your Christian woman and your Islamic woman, it ain't gonna work. You're gonna have a highly spiritual African woman. And watch, you want that Mercedes Benz? It'll be in your car. It'll be in your drive yard soon. And I haven't had the chance to do it because I've been celibate and I haven't found a highly spiritual woman yet. As soon as I do, it's on and popping, just like the name of the show. It's on and popping. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. That's what she gonna say. Oh my
Nice.
God. Oh my God. I'm vibrating too high, Keith. I know.
Okay. Thank
I
you so much
know.
for the
I
tips.
know.
And you can order yourself some rochier butter for the ladies. It's good for your skin and it basically softens rough skin and cracks, so leaving you with a smooth and nourished complexion. Order yourself some aloe cool cucumber soap. Also, the hair, skin, essential supplements, the bee pearl powder for $15.80 only. Ladies, we need
We
all
got
these no
we got the
things.
Moringa coming, guys. The Moringa's already in our TikTok shop. He hasn't put it in there. I want you to do me a favor, Irritan. Look up Moringa. Say, what is the benefits of Moringa? Moringa.
And I always have read this in the morning. The benefits
No,
of
Moringa?
yeah, everything.
Okay. So we have Moringa, guys. They haven't put inside the network. page yet. It should be coming soon, but it's already on the TikTok shop that we got. So I told him he forgot to put it in the damn network website and on the app. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Moringa powder or Moringa gummies or Moringa tablets. Moringa, hell, that's almost like a cure all herb.
Okay, moringa's benefit, it leads to modest reduction in blood sugar and cholesterol. It may also have an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effect and protect against arsenic toxicity. Moringa leaves are also highly nutritious and should be beneficial for people who are lacking in essential nutrients. And
Yeah,
also to offer women greater protection from breast cancer. Diabetes is a growing health concern in the United States. In your study, moringa powder reduced blood glucose levels in diabetic patients by a significant.
diabetes, cancer. It's almost a cure all for almost everything. You
Yeah,
take these tablets or gummies, because we got them in all forms, guys. So should be coming. Look out for that coming this weekend when he puts them up. We got the gummies, we got the tablets, and we got the powder. So any way you want to take it, put it in a smoothie and drink it, or just
yeah,
take it with a tablet or just a gummy that you chew on like a child, whatever. But
right.
very good, healthy.
Yes, super healthy alkaline diet all through. Also may help protect cardiovascular health and also protect diseases such as heart disease. So moringa is super,
Moringa
super,
super, baby. That's an
yeah,
old African herb that the Africans used thousands of years ago. Imagine that. The African
right.
knew all this stuff. Imagine that.
I've always seen it
That
in our household since I was young. The
would you
moringa
say?
powder. I
Would you
used to
say
see it
it?
in the house, my parents' house. I used to
Yeah.
see it in the house since I was a little girl.
Oh, okay. So your family used to take
Yeah, my father
Moringa.
used to use that. Yeah, my pops
Shout out to
mostly,
that.
and my mom.
Shout out to them.
So,
Exactly. See? Yeah. See?
but I used to be like,
So
what
them
is
being
this one?
Africans, huh? You do what?
No, I used to wonder what that is, because you're young and you're trying to figure out what
And
that is. Yeah.
well, you should have asked them. They should have told you. Shit.
Yeah,
Was it a
yeah,
secret or
my pops
something?
did. No, my pops did. He did. And I started drinking it also.
Okay, yeah.
In tea,
Yeah.
hot
Yeah, see,
water.
so see
Yeah.
exactly. T, exactly right. See, so Airtime's already been taking it because it's ancient African and it's very healthy,
Yeah.
you know. But until the white man told you everything you did was evil. It's evil. Okay, let me stop doing that. But
Also,
anyway,
yeah, the moringa is good. I should definitely also order one for myself. But they sell it at the stores, so it's easy to get moringa around here. The moringa powder. But
that's
you have to
great.
know the quality
Awesome.
also that you're basically buying. You have to be careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gotta make sure it's not. Gotta make sure it doesn't just say moringa, and it's
Yeah.
goddamn nothing but salt up in there, some shit.
I agree.
Gotta make sure it's real.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that here. We
Yes.
also
Yes.
have under the beverages supplements that we have the mushroom coffee fusion, Lion's Mane for $36.90, the Manuka honey coffee for $59.90, the hemp coffee blend for $32.10, and Brazilian blend General Mosquito is not Brazilian weave, it's Brazilian blend coffee for $39.90. Also, the beet poo powder for $15.80.
Go,
Beet
go ahead and
powder.
get yourself get a mosquito. It's hard. I fixed it for you. I'm glad you told me it wasn't working. You can order. We ship to England, nigga. We ship to England. So there you go. We ship to England, Australia, Germany, Netherlands, wherever. Except for Africa, sadly. But yeah, we ship Australia.
Definitely ship them here.
We ship to Japan.
Why not here?
Africa, because Africa's underdeveloped, Puritan. That's why they
What do
do that.
you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah,
We show
you don't
you
know that? Why do you think go on our TikTok? Why you think you don't see our store? Get a mosquito, go. And ask Joby. So you can see our store around the world, but you can't see it in Africa because they don't want
Oh,
Africa's underdeveloped.
okay.
We
So
have,
they're kind of shadowing it from being shipped to Africa, or what?
yeah, that you don't know Africa's underdeveloped and treated poorly. I'm glad you learned this. Yes, Eric.
No,
Things that they sell around
I
the
do
world.
know that, but I'm talking
Okay.
about in regards to shipping products. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Most products only ship to Africa to a certain way.
Okay.
Not not like online businesses. They won't do it because Africa's too corrupt.
Yeah.
They don't trust Africans to do real business because they're corrupt. Shit don't work in Africa right, where it does the rest of the world. Somebody be stealing some shit or messing up the prices, so they refuse to do it in Africa. Not just
Mm,
Kenya, it's just Africa. Only country they will do it in, shout again, because you got the white people there, is South Africa. But
right.
Black Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Angola, Congo, Uganda, absolutely not.
Right.
They're not going to do that. So it's not good. Everywhere else around the world, even though it's closer to ship to Africa than to ship to Japan for me, but I can ship to Japan. So everything, like a Japanese guy can go on our site and order it and it'll come to him. Or get a mosquito. But Africa, not unless you're in South Africa. If you're in South Africa, yeah, South Africa you can do it. But any other African country where they got black people in it, no, absolutely not. That's why TikTok doesn't have any shops. That, ask Joby to show when we get done with the show. Ask Joby
Okay.
go on the phone and you'll see the African version of TikTok of Black Wi-Fi Network and the American version, the one I sent her, the one where it looks like on my end. You see, it's completely different. Yeah.
Right.
And they do that because Africa's underdeveloped and they say it's too criminal.
Right.
So so that's another thing. Africa gets treated poorly.
That I
It
never
doesn't
said
get it
that.
doesn't it doesn't get the share in the
Mm,
global economy.
right.
Africa, the black African countries are not even really part of the global economy here. That's why
Mm,
they said. That's why you hear them video say they're not part of the global economy. They're miserable. That's why we can genocide them. Who cares? Africa's
right.
not really part of.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah, because Africa's not. You're not the African nations. You guys are not even really part of the global economy. Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana. You're not part of the global economy at all. And most Africans, you don't know that. You're not part of the global economy. You're part of extraction, yeah. Like I told you, the theft stealing minerals out of Africa so I can build the stuff outside of Africa and then sell it in the global economy. But you're not part of the global economy. You just import shit from your colonial masters, but you're not part of the global economy. You're not you're not even in that. So that's how they keep Africa poor and backwards. Africa suffers from not even being part of the global economy. It's wicked here at times. I keep
It
telling you
is,
how wicked they are. Yes,
and
it's
that's why we have
wicked.
to fight it. We have to stop fighting against each other. That's the reason why. But everybody's
Well,
basically
how you
self-making
going
everything for
how you
themselves,
going
and that's why
that's
everybody's
true.
corrupt.
That's true. How they gonna fight somebody you worship here at times? You haven't fought them. How you gonna fight people you worship? See, you got what they call a conundrum. How do you fight the very people that you worship? That hey, you gotta do that first. See, if you worship somebody who's treating you like shit, who's evil towards you, you don't even know it.
Right.
You gotta learn that first. That's why Africa's not part. They purposely taking Africa out of the global economy. That's evil, Iraton. It's evil what they doing. Why have they done it? Because it makes them rich. They don't want you part of the global economy because it's going to what? Impoverish them. They come
Right.
to Africa, steal your resources out of it, make the products, give their people jobs from your resources, Iraton, and then they sell them all over the world. And then if they come back to Africa, they come back at a higher price. Everything in Africa is higher priced, and it's only come. to a certain level. It's not part of the it's not part of the global economy. Kenya is attached to Britain. It's like all its colonies attached to. You're not attached to the global economy. You have a commonwealth. You're attached to the British economy, not the global economy. So
Mm.
Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Nigeria, all the British attached to Britain. All the old French ones attached to French. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Senegal, Gabon, Cameroon. What else? What else? What else? Chad. They're all attached to the French economy, making them rich. So Kenya, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, and all these other countries, they make Britain rich. The other colonies from France make France rich. They don't want to get rid of that.
Right.
You made them big. You made them wealthy. So you're right. It's not right. So you understand that they are exploiting you, exploiting African people for their benefit. Are they supposed to be godly? Are they supposed to be friends in Jesus and Christ? And why they treat you so fucked up? Why they steal from you and keep you impoverished? you know, it's a counterintuitive. It's a lie because it was political. I sent you a video. You probably need to look at it on my other phone. Like I tell the truth, how they wrote it. He wrote this in their documents. We gotta make the African Christian, or we'll never conquer them. We must destroy the spiritual systems. I want you to read. I want you that video I sent you on my other phone. That we must conquer their minds. We must destroy their spirituality. This is,
Right.
the, this, is, this is what they wrote before they invaded us here at Todd. We must destroy their spirituality and force them to be Christian. That's what they did. He
Right.
said because he said without Christianity we would not be able to conquer these people. That's what they wrote here, John. That's not me, John. That's not my writing. So the religion has to be a lot. They wrote that. We must force them, and they did. They must force them to accept Christianity. Period. And we must destroy the spiritual systems. Go ahead.
Right. Um, Definitely. We were talking about Ubuntu. That's basically the topic of the day. Ubuntu, you are because I am, and Ubuntu is a
I am, and I
philosophy,
am because you
African
are.
philosophy. Yeah, I am because you are. It's a philosophy, African philosophy, that emphasizes the importance of community and the sharing of burdens and benefits, which you're definitely not doing right now. And that's where we are, where we at as
Because,
Africans in
because you're
Africa.
not in your African tradition. You're African, you're normally what? Loving. Ubuntu, that's who you are. You're loving.
Right,
You believe in sharing. Like you said, Keith, we will share with everybody. Of course you will. You're African. But
right,
everybody's not African. They don't want to share with you. They want to take and rob and steal from you. But yes, you're African.
right.
That's your nature, Iritan, to be loving, to be kind. That's your
Yeah,
nature.
I agree. I agree. Literally. And that's the topic of the day, guys. And we'll definitely delve in regards to this amazing word Ubuntu, right? Because I believe it's time. I can say people are basically waking up and they're basically
They
going back
are,
to
they are, they are,
so I
they,
definitely hope.
they, yes, they are irritated. Because
Yeah,
that's why the white men so scared. The youth are getting rid of the Christianity shit and the Islam. They're scared to death because that's political. That's exactly what they're doing. The youth are like, hey, man, these religions suck. That's why they want to ban TikTok. Because TikTok, those youth are on there saying, like you said, teaching all that old ancient Africans to say, this is who we were. Why do we give up our own traditions to be savages? This is not us. So you're right. There is an awakening. Go ahead.
and it's amazing to see that maybe the leaders that we have right now, obviously they do not have a lot of understanding in regards to all this, because as Keith was saying, they're basically trying to find or basically get approval from the people who have basically been controlling Africa and basically trying to impoverish Africa. So it's just that in very complex in regards to you have to find validation, but we don't really need validation because when we go back to this amazing philosophy,
Exactly. Why do you need
can who we are.
validation, Airtime? Why do you need validation, Airtime, when you are the one created mathematics, created science? You're the creation of everything. Who are you validating yourself to? To the white man who you taught? The savage who you told how to change his clothes, how to wash his ass? As an African, you don't need validation to nobody. You are the beginning of everything, Airtime.
Yeah.
You don't need to validate yourself to nobody.
And we have to really understand that and know by communicating and talking about this every day, a lot of people start been questioning a lot of things, and it'll just time to basically wake up and take everything back that has been stolen from us, starting from our culture, going back to our culture. That's relearning and learning and understanding our African identity, African culture. And I believe with that, everything is just gonna change. Everything that we're learning, or basically you're learning, will permeate and manifest and basically affect other people to understand that Africa was the greatest of all time. We have Professor James Small basically giving a hint or basically snips of Ubuntu in regards to what he's teaching right now.
There's nothing royal about that royalty because they didn't get their money right. And so they don't deserve the titles they wear. These people deserve the titles they wear because the people give them the titles and they own nothing. The kings and queens in Africa own nothing. Okay? Everything they need, the people provide, but they own personally nothing. And so when you think about royalty in Africa, the royalties see themselves simply as the serf.
Because everything belongs to everybody. Nobody has,
Exactly, Airtime.
yes. But the fact that the Berlin Conference, 1884, and all these tiny little countries were basically formed, and everybody's trying to salvage everything because minerals and resources now have been basically divided into these countries that they were not there. You wake up one morning and you're like, oh my God, I'm in Nigeria. And it was one continent. And you're like, oh my God,
Exactly,
no,
exactly. You got it right.
I'm in Kenya.
Now I'm Nigerian. Airtime. Now I'm
Yeah,
Kenyan and shit. Now I'm Ugandan. Exactly. Because the
yeah.
white man now said you are. I'm not that. I'm
And
African.
they knew that he's gonna basically create chaos between us because you're gonna fight for resources.
Exactly.
We'll try to
No,
protect what we have,
God,
and that's why we
God,
have the
God
borders.
divide, God divide and conquer, Irritan. Divide and
Yes,
conquer.
that actually was a smart move because now we don't trust each other, and we did used to trust each other. We felt safe
Exactly.
around each other.
Exactly. It's
But
brilliant.
I mean,
Just like Joby said, you're Nigerian. Like Joby said, you're Nigerian. You're a motherfucking foreigner. He's actually
yeah,
not Nigerian. He's actually African like you. And he actually shares the same genetics as Joby. But
yeah,
Joby said, you're a goddamn foreigner here. You're a foreigner
yeah,
because the white man made them borders. He's not. There's no
yeah.
foreigner Africans in Africa. But that's what
So
they gave us.
you can see how that was a really smart move, honestly. But if you sit down and basically contemplate about all this,
Of course,
you
it's smart.
understand
Of
we're
course, it's
all
a smart move.
Africans. You don't need to fight
Of course,
against each other.
of course, it's a smart move. I'm
Yeah.
trying to dominate and take over the richest place on the planet. Of course,
Hmm.
it's smart. Shit.
So how can I cause confusion in regards to you guys will not have any common vision or goal to basically be united again, but I'll just leave you guys always fighting for eternity. As you're stealing, as you're consuming, as you're building our nation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as they're focusing on building and rebuilding and developing, where are we right now? We are still doing the same thing. Fighting, hating, and
That's
creating more
right.
borders.
That's right.
Not understanding what is the main secret to where we are right now. And why are we where we are right now? It is because of all this division, divide and conquer, as Keith is saying. But if we come back and sit back, relearn, take a
That's
moment and
why.
just
That's why you're not. That's why you're not taught none of this in none of they fake school.
yes,
So you know this now, Airtime. Why you think you never
yeah,
taught this as a child? Because then you
mhm,
start free in Africa, and you're
yeah,
now fucking up their money.
facts, facts. Like it's so hard to go to like other African countries. Why? Like you're supposed to basically be able to travel to whatever country you're thinking of without
Yes,
any
yes,
difficulties. Made it
yes.
difficult, and now that's basically builds up hate and resent to
That,
these
that's what
other
they were.
countries.
That's what
You
they were
know,
trying to do. That's what they were trying to do. Airtime in the beginning,
that's
when they supposed to
true.
get independence, they wanted. They said,
Yeah.
Kwame Nkrumah said, "Let's stop making these borders. Let's get rid of these borders that the white men make. Let's say Africans can move freely through the continent. You live wherever you want to live, as we used to." White man
Hmm.
said, "Hell no to that. No, 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 no." So they killed those leaders who tried to put that into effect, or they
Yeah.
overthrew them.
I'm supposed to if I see Congolese, Rwandese, I should be that's my sister, that's my brother.
Yeah,
I
but
shouldn't look for like
you're supposed to know that. But
yeah,
through
you
education, you don't know that. You think those are different people, but they're not. They are actually you, just born in a different country here at times. Because without the borders there, you were just all African. So
mhm,
I'm laughing at there's a there's some on TikTok had me laugh. This girl from South Sudan, like you said, she started. She said, you know what? The Senegalese are actually us.
right.
They moved from Sudan and ended up in Senegal and became different tribes. He said, "Wow, this is fascinating. We're actually brothers and sisters. It's not just Senegal, lady. It's
Yeah,
all of Black Africa.
yeah.
You went throughout Africa, settled in different places, and then you start making these separate groupie tribes, but it's still the same people."
Mm.
Jeremy laughed. He said, "I was know some of the words are the same, and we're the same people. Wow, this is really interesting." Jeremy laughing. I'm glad that's the awakening that's happening.
That is so true. And it's time for us to really, I know like this generation, the youth, and the young people really definitely understand what's happening. And we saw the fact that a lot of people, the likes of Keith, the likes of Dr. Ari Connor, people have been talking about everything is supposed to happen and then it happens. It means like, you know what? It's like a prophecy because Dr. Ari kind of said that the fact that the day Africans will have one common goal and become united, that's when revolution will start in Africa. And we
It
saw
will,
a bit of
and it
that
be
during the finance bill.
and it be unstoppable because the African youth, you're the majority of the planet,
Mm,
not the Chinese, not the Indian youth, African youth. And I want you to know, it scares the shit out of the rest of the world.
right.
If this African youth wakes up and takes back Africa, you become the wealthiest people again. The
That is so
slums
true.
go away, all
Yes.
that shit goes away because
Like we're
all
not
the wealth
supposed
comes
to.
from Africa.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be struggling at all. Like
No,
at
you
all, we're
never
supposed
used.
to be owning and developing and building
Guess this.
um
Guess
always
this. Guess what? Airtime.
what?
Africa is abundant,
Yes.
abundant. So no, you're not supposed to be struggling and
Exactly.
suffering and
Hmm.
starving because you
Yeah.
come from the land of abundance.
I was thinking about that like last weekend. I'm like, isn't that funny? The fact that we have so much minerals and resources and we are where we
Yeah,
at. Honestly.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. Because other people what stealing them
doesn't make
and
sense.
take
Yeah.
other people use them for their own benefit and steal them from you. Yeah, you come from the land of abundance. Africa is abundant.
Yeah.
Should nobody ever airtime be starving,
Yes.
hungry, or destitute ever.
All the slums, which you can see, like there are a lot of slums everywhere. They're not supposed to be there. Literally, we're not
Of course,
supposed to be
yeah. But
asking for
remember,
like loans
exactly,
from the IMF.
airtime.
Really? No.
Exactly, because you didn't have slums until the white man came. There were no slums in Africa, nowhere. So it's not now when you go to Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Gambia, Gabon,
South
I name
Africa.
every it's all South Africa slums everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, there's slums everywhere now because the white man has stole all your wealth. Okay, he stole all your wealth. That's why you live in slums now. You know, you're like, well, why was there no slums 150 years ago? Because you controlled Africa then. That's why.
It
You
is
didn't
so
have any
true.
slums because you had Ubuntu and you have lived in a place of abundance. The white man said, God damn it, I want that abundance. I don't want to share it with you. I don't want to be your friend. I'm going to come in and knock you over the head, force this
Right.
goopy religion on you, and I'm going to steal all your shit. And then I'm going to falsely educate you through
Right.
my school system that I'm going to build inside of Africa.
That is so
So that's
true.
the, and yeah, that's the fact.
Heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when you're basically driving around or basically traveling wherever you're traveling to, and you see the slums and how people are really
Yeah.
struggling to live in such condition. And it takes you back in regards to what
It'll break,
professor gave
it'll
from
break,
12.
it'll
We
break
had
your heart.
everything. Yeah, we
Break your
had
heart.
everything. Everything belongs to everybody. There was not a jinx of selfishness and greed at all.
Because that's
At
your
all.
nature, Irritar.
Yes.
See? How much you gonna say that's your African nature? The European is selfish and savage. That's not see when you keep saying, McKee, they're good. No, they're not. Their nature is to steal, rape, and pillage. I'm sorry. That's what they do. That's why they all did it. You know, it was Africa wide. All of Africa's in the same condition. You can go to Google right now. Pull up slums in Kenya, you'll see it. Pull up slums in Ghana. Pull up slums in Nigeria. Pull up slums in Angola. Pull up slums in Zimbabwe. Pull up slums in Namibia. Pull up slums in Botswana. Pull up slums in Zambia. Pull up slums in South Africa. Pull up slums in Gambia. Pull up slums in Cote d'Ivoire. Pull up slums in Equatorial Guinea. Pull up slums in Gabon. Pull up slums in Cameroon. Like, god damn. Shit.
That is so true.
You
It's
know?
sad. It has made
Yeah.
people right now to corner themselves in a perspective where, you know what, I just have to salvage whatever I have because everybody's just trying to take whatever they can for themselves because that's the leaders that we have right now who are like that. So it
They
can
the
feel like
ones,
over.
they're the ones put them in power. You know, the
There are some
psychopaths,
people, yes.
yeah, the psychopaths that control Africa put their own psychopaths, these psychopaths as black people who are, you know, to do their bidding. That's why they're there. Exactly.
We're not supposed to be salvaging everything for ourselves. Human interest, your
Oh.
own selfish interest.
Explain. Now I'm gonna give you another paradox, Erica. Okay,
Others like that, you know? And I feel like right now, if you have that heart in you to basically talk about it and basically do something different in regards to the position that you have, you should. Because when you think about this in the next few years, you think about it like in the next generation, when you leave them where we are right now, like it's not cool. It's not a good thing to do that. Something should definitely move you,
I'm
you
gonna give
know?
you I'm gonna give you a paradox, Erica. Think about this. I'm gonna give you a conundrum. Before
Okay.
Christianity, you was abundance and had everything. It was abundance, no starvation, no slums. Now, when you got Christianity, you got starvation, slums, unfair treatment, and you know, few people at the top and everybody at the bottom. So how could this be a true reflection of God? It can't. You can't say before you got Christianity, which is new to Africa, only been there 150 years. Before Christianity, you had abundance. These are just facts.
Right.
Africa was abundant. You had no diseases. You were alkalinity. You were happy, prosperous. Now you got Christianity. Everybody's broke, fucked up, slums everywhere. There's a dichotomy there. Like, wow, something ain't adding up here.
Hmm.
Somewhere there's a lie here. Somewhere there's a lie. You telling me everything? My shit was all devil worshiping and evil, but I had plenty enough food. I had abundance of everything. I didn't have slums. The kings and queens shared everything was shared amongst everybody. So nobody was there were no airtime. There were no prisons in Africa. They did not exist. So no one went to jail because no one needed to steal anything here, Tom, because it was Ubuntu. We shared everything. But now I got your Christian religion. I got these people stealing phones from me. People calling me prostitutes in the street.
Right.
And I got all this confusion about who's the different African. Some, some ain't adding up. But go ahead.
Right. It's time for Africans, it's time for us to basically go back to the Ubuntu philosophy because it's important and it basically feels right. Honestly, it feels right because that's who we are.
Because that's who you are.
Yeah.
That's your nature. You've been taken outside of your nature. We've been turned into savages here at time. We got conquered by savages, and we've been turned. Now our society's a savage.
And that's not right. That's not right. And I believe the awakening is amazing. The fact that I shared about that content creator yesterday, Rono Chebet, and she said she's been having that awakening call for a while and she just had to answer it. I believe if you're that chosen individual, you just have to answer it because it's you to take up that position
That's
and
your
fight.
cause.
It's your calling.
Yep.
It's your calling. Let's listen in to what Professor Small is saying.
To the people, not as an oligarch over the people. And that's a different notion. This is Ethiopia. They're celebrating the Spring Festival. I just wanted to show you the variety of our beautiful people. This is Mali in front of the Jenin Mosque, which is one of the oldest mosques in the world. And it was there long before Christopher Columbus. This is the Dogon people of Mali that has one of the oldest astronomical sciences in the world outside of ancient Egypt. And
They're from Egypt. They're from Egypt. They left
Right,
Egypt and all the invasions came. People of Mali called the Dogons are Egyptian priests. They left Kemet when all the white people started invading. They moved inward and went west.
right,
And they didn't want to and they didn't want to accept the Christianity. First it was Islam, so they pretended to be savage. So to keep the African traditions, when Islam came conquered, the Dogon got the first. They pretend to be savages. That the Islam said, the Muslims said, oh, these people too savage. We can't turn them to Allah. They too savage for Allah. That's how they kept their traditions by acting savage. That's funny. They tell that story. And Dogon tell that story that when the Muslims and the Christians came and they would act real savage, say, whoa, we can't get this. They're too savage for the religion. So they can keep the actual African knowledge, which is phenomenal. That's why when white people went back to study them, said, how do they know all this shit? How do they know this? Because we were supposed to be dumb Africans. That the Dogon knew more about the universe than any college university the white man had. They said this. They kept saying somebody white had to come here years ago and teach them this. How can he teach them what you guys don't know? That you guys didn't know yet. They was mapped out the universe and showed you what stars were what. You didn't have a telescope to even see it. That's how advanced Africans were. They mapped the whole universe out. And certain stars that we can't see through the naked eye because it's in a different frequency. It's in a different vibration. It's there. You can't see it because it's in a different frequency. The Dogon show you. Then the white man finally found, I think like, 15 years ago? He said, God damn, it is, I think, is it Sirius B or is it Sirius A that they finally found? Like, oh my God, these niggas are right. It is a star there. That's
right,
right. It's there. Good. Good, Airtime.
right.
stars like Series A, Series B, that the
Yep,
West.
seriously, there goes. Exactly. He just said, I know. I didn't know. Airtime was going to have him, that was going to say that. Series A and Series B, they didn't know existed. The Dogon had already mapped it from ancient Kemet. The African already mapped it. White man didn't even know it existed because it exists in a higher frequency, in another goddamn dimension. It's in a higher frequency. This was the African knew thousands of years ago. So he just said, that's what James Small, Dr. James Small was just saying. Series A and Series B, they didn't know it was there. And then when they finally found it, they said, wow, how these niggas know this? Because our history and knowledge is ancient, guys. We go ahead, we go ahead, we go ahead.
That is true.
1950s.
Yep.
And I just wanted to show we all look alike. There we are, looking
We
like
all look alike. That is true.
you.
We are one, and that's why all this fighting against each other should definitely stop.
Yeah.
So, and this is what they call the jungle, the rainforest. Do you know that North America have more jungle than Africa?
That's why we've been pinpoint in regards to developing as Africans because we're fighting against each other. That's
True.
the main part of it that is making us not move forward as a nation,
That's the
honestly.
ignorance. That's the ignorance. It keeps you like that. That's divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Exactly right. It's the ignorance here at times. It's the ignorance.
Mm. Because right now, even the way different economies in the different parts of the countries are, I most will definitely understand this, and I believe I have so much faith and hope that definitely changes here. Like it's just literally here, it's happening. And Dr. Mumbi actually did a YouTube about that. Like it's definitely happening right now. Africa is winning, and as I said earlier, if you're gonna adhere to that
Oh,
awakening
send it
call,
to me. Send it to me. Every time, let me see what she says when you get a chance.
okay, sure, I'll definitely do that. It's amazing because if you basically answer the awakening cry in your soul, it means you're the chosen one to basically spearhead in regards to your platform. If
Of
it's
course, that's why the knowledge is coming to you here at times.
right,
There's no coincidences in the universe here at times.
mm, my gosh,
Except they call it Everglades and swamps. All right. But this rainforest in Africa is some of the most beautiful places. But this is what most of Africa looks like. Again, the rainforest. But Africa, most of it is plains.
Plain, exactly.
And we do have modern cities all over Africa. This is Ghana. I think this Egypt.
I believe this is really important, like whatever Professor James Moore is showcasing, because in regards to what kids basically knows, even some of my friends who basically grew up in the United States or basically Europe, they're not taught anything about Africa. Everything that they're taught is super negative, and that's why you see most of them
Exactly.
would never want to be here because whatever
Exactly.
you're fed basically becomes your reality. So,
Yes.
like, why
Exactly.
would I go to that place? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, some people do not have the idea that it's definitely another nation like where it is, literally.
This is Lagos. This, I think, is, let me get it right, is not Tanzania. And this may be Congo. Yoruba history, this is one of my professors that laid this out. Yoruba history and culture. According to Professor Akinjoba, and you need to know what culture is, because culture is your other key. In actual fact, culture consists of all the items in the life of a group of human beings, which make them to feel belonging to one another and distinct from any other group around them. The problem you have here, the problem we have in North America, we don't have a culture. We don't feel like we belong to one another. And we don't feel like we are distinct from all the other groups around us. We want to be everybody the same. Well, you define God, because God did not make everybody the same. And if you're just a scientist and say nature, then you define nature. Nature didn't make everybody the same. So how you gonna make everybody the same? That's unrealistic. It doesn't work. That's why we have the problem.
Hmm.
You need to know your distinctions and organize around those distinctions so you can protect yourselves. And we're not doing it very well. And he went further to say that culture is not static, it is dynamic. Certain items that are no longer useful at a particular period, a particular time in
You get
culture,
rid of it.
discarded and thrown away.
Exactly. It does not work anymore. You're supposed to discard it and throw it away. You don't keep antiquated culture. If it doesn't work, you get like you're trying to get knowledge. When you get knowledge, you throw away the shit that didn't work. Say, oh, okay, this is not right. Doesn't work anymore. You're supposed to get rid of it. You don't keep it going. Say, oh, because my grandmother was stupid. I used to keep doing it because my grandmother did it. No, your grandmother lacked the knowledge that you got now. You update it and keep it moving. You
Yeah,
go, go there.
that is true. And you have to, when you start learning and relearning, you come to a realization in regards to know, yes, you're going to be upset. Yes, you're going to be emotional, but you basically understand right now in regards to what you're teaching and basically advocating, like, you know what, you're not going to dictate what I'm going to basically be voicing out because the truth about who I am, my culture, my identity, and the fact that you are the problem, you are the enemy, I'm not. And I'm basically taking everything that you've taken away from me. I'm not
Exactly.
asking, I'm basically taking it away. So when you come to
Okay.
that
So now, so
realization,
now, so now you're taking back power, Iritan. That's
yeah,
dangerous. They want now you're saying you want to take back your power. That
yeah,
scares white people. take,
I think it's
take them.
true. Because it scares them because they are guilty of what they did. Not feel guilty, but they know what they've done. And the
They know
fact that
what
you're
they've done.
the
They don't
thing
feel
that,
guilty, but exactly they know what they've done. Yes.
yeah, and you basically, your light bulb literally like lit up, and you're like, oh my God, I know what you did, you know? And I'm not gonna let you do this again. So let's do this. Let's let's go to war. That's what's up.
That fits the circumstances. Like somebody asked me yesterday what my religion was, and I said voodoo. And they said, but some of you just said, you know. The word voodoo is an African word that means God. It comes from the Fan language and the Ewe language. The Fan language is the people of Benin. The Ewe language is the people of Togo and Volta region, Ghana. One of their words for God, their word for God in its totality is Sogbe Lisa.
And all it is, when they talk about that, because they had me scared of that shit too, cause white man me scared of the boot. All it is, family, it comes from Egypt too. It's just energy, frequency, and vibration was actually real.
Mm,
White man can fuck my mind up so much, not understanding, having all this Christian insanity, growing up, talking crazy, and then discarding everything I told Africa was bad, was evil. But then I had enough courage to go back and pick it up and study it. It's how the universe really works. It's just energy, frequency, and vibration. That's how the Dogon knew that star was out there. Knew because everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. That's how the universe really works. So as I went back and picked it up, it had me scared about being an African and not realizing this is how the universe really works. This is
right,
science.
right.
It had me scared to be African. It had me ashamed to be African, but my African self was devilish. And I said, Africans are the nicest people in the world with kind and loving. How can we be demons? You know, it's a lie. White people are the most wickedest, backward, fucked up people. So you're the demon, not us. So the shit you brought is demonic, not us. Ours is
That is
Ubuntu and love. Go ahead, John.
yeah. And when you, I believe the likes of Keith, Dr. Tata, Dr. Mumbi, a lot of people, elevator mental, talking about educating and teaching people about truth and facts, and it's so amazing because a lot of people will not be able to understand that because what they've been fed is all lies. So the type of music we listen to, what we eat, how we socialize, and basically perceive our own fellow brothers and sisters. So it's like the fact that you take this journey to sacrifice to relearn and understand that, you know what, you've been dictating what I'm eating. You've been dictating in regards to how I socialize with my brothers and sisters. You've been dictating the songs that I'm listening to. But understanding even what you're listening to, where the environment that really surrounds you can lower or basically increase your vibration to basically being divine and being the highest version of yourself. You know,
Exactly.
yeah. So it's like I'm done with this dictatorship because it is. And the fact that everything has been showcased on the media in regards to mostly music, super powerful. And it lowers mostly the African melanated individuals, can lower your vibration in regards to how you perceive information, how you're super connected to your higher self. But if you go back and relearn even the kind of music you're listening to, the kind of people you're surrounding yourself to, the thing that you're consuming, the alkaline diet, you should be consuming a lot of that. Everything has been messed up. So it is a threat in regards to relearning about everything, but also it makes you powerful and basically be in full control of who you are and
It
basically
does.
your identity as an African
And
goddess.
you know what you lose there, Tom? Your
Hmm.
fear. You
Yeah,
lose your fear.
that is so true. Definitely, you're not fearful anymore at all.
Nope.
There's nothing like fear. That's an illusion. But let's listening to Professor James Small giving us a small um, clip about the genes and DNA of God, the divine, as we're winding up here on Let's Pop with Your John.
We thought the legal name. She said, no, I born Mary Magdalena Alston. But she said, I changed it when my sister died, and I chose her name because Mary Magdalena was a whore and a harlot. I go, whoa. So I started reading the Bible. I went from cover to cover twice because I didn't want my grandmother to be hurting. There's
Just like you, Keith, and your grandmother.
nothing in any Bible that calls Mary
Exactly.
Magdalene a
Hmm.
whore or a harlot. So why do the preachers teach that? Hmm, maybe Jesus had a wife and they didn't want you to know.
You know. Yeah,
So
the story that yeah, Mary Magdalene and Jesus got married. That's in the actual Gnostic text because it's still made up. But it's in the Gnostic text. They got married, had children, and because the sacrificial story comes later, they was never sacrificed. He lived, had children, and lived their life. But go ahead. Go ahead.
as his priests, they were going to just be men without wives. So they took the one lady who was a part of the 12 disciples. The lady was,
And made a whore. That's what white men do. Because they hate their women. So when they were making up the story, you're right, Jane. They're making up all these fake stories. They always got to put the woman down because white men hate their women. It's always got to be masculine dominated. Africans, we don't hate our women. So women were always equal to us. So yeah, so when they make up the story, they took her from a disciple to a whore. Go ahead.
and if you caught me anointing your wife with some oil and washing her feet, what would you do? Huh? That's a sign of very high affection. And yet they reduced the woman to a whore and a harlot. And there's nothing in the Bible that has any reference to her as a whore or a harlot. So you need to ask why the theologians is teaching one thing and claiming it's in the Bible, and then it's not. Because those things form how you see reality, like it did for my grandma, to the point that she changed totally. And then I was able to go back to her and show her that she didn't read or write. That it's not in that Bible. Somebody made that up.
And then
So
all it, and then it all depends, James, what Bible you're reading. So most of us are giving the King James bullshit. So each Bible has different writings in it that are completely different from one another because it was always about political power. That's why King James wrote that goofy Bible. You know, and everybody, and you got the Geneva Bible before that, and you have the Catholic Bible before that. Has certain, all these books are about political power. So every translation or every literization is completely different from Bible to Bible. Well, how can that be if this is the Word of God? Because it's not. It's political. You know, when King James was writing his version, he wanted to prove slavery because that's when Britain now was becoming a power. From a backwater, impoverished ass country, it now got Africa. We're now going to create slaves. So now I'm going to justify slavery through God, through my goofy book. That's why he find more passages of slavery in the King James version because he wanted to justify slavery that he was starting to make millions of dollars from. The British Empire was now becoming a power. Remember, Britain was always backwatered, fucked up, poor, savage. But now it got part of Africa and started doing slavery. Now it's becoming what? Wealthy. He's trying to justify his wealth. Remember, he's also a pedophile. You know, he's also a homosexual pedophile. You know, it's crazy. So he's trying to justify slavery. That's why in the King James Version, respect your master if you're a slave. Don't go against your man. All that slavery shit is in the King James Version because it's political. Not about any guy. By him making his own. And remember, why did England leave the Catholic Church? Because Henry VIII wanted to fuck another woman. And the Pope said no. He said, okay, well, fuck that. We'll make our own church. That's the creation of what they call the Anglican Church. So the British, when they start colonizing, they brought what the Anglican Church to their colonies because of Henry VIII, who wanted another wife. He said, we're not gonna let you divorce your wife. He said, well, I'm divorcing her ass. I'm gonna chop her head off, and I'm gonna make my own church. And that's where the Anglican Church started
As you're
from Henry
winding,
VIII. Go ahead. So
I'm not.
all these religions are phony.
I'm not saying when the wedding feast takes place in the Bible, the wedding had to wait because Jesus wasn't there. Because you can't have a wedding without a groom. And I'm not saying that's according to Hebrew tradition or any tradition. But Mary, Jesus' mother, his
Oh, this
brother,
must be old. This bill must be real old when James was small, still young. You know, before he gave up he gave up Christianity and became a Muslim. Gave up Islam. He talking all this fairy tale shit doing that part. Ain't none of that shit he said happened. Those are in the ancient Gnostic versions, which they told you are not history, but nothing but allegories. It's the ways of life, allegories. They're not a real history. He's reading that shit like he had to tell his grandmother like this was history because she was still all caught in the Bible, just like my grandma. So that's not history. Those are allegories, stories
right.
made to explain something, explain a condition, explain something. They're not like a real person in real history. The allegories. I was reading something that this guy on TikTok, he might be right. I gotta go back and research what this guy was saying. He said, no, even that Septuagint shit is fake. I said, it may be. He said, that book of seven, that stuff I was teaching every time. He said, even that shit's made up. I said, God damn, that's made up too? Did I miss something? He's saying the book of 70 about the Africans writing that shit and creating a religion. No, that story's phony. They created a religion even later, even more recent time. I said, ooh, I gotta go back and study that. That's crazy.
Alrighty.
Wow.
As we're basically winding up on Let's Swap with Iwerton, remember Ubuntu for
That's
life.
pop, pop, pop.
I
Have you guys
am
have you
closing
guys
up.
cut the cake? Have you guys cut the cake up yet?
I'm finishing up, kid. Just a
Oh,
moment.
I'm just
Ubuntu,
asking.
guys. For the guys who are listening in, thank you, General Mosquito, for joining in. I know you're asking. I'm kindly responding.
Okay. Pepper
Yes. I'm sorry if
Pepper
I hurt your
Dolly. Pepper
feelings.
Dolly.
If I hurt your feelings, I'm just responding. But thank you, guys. Remember, we are one. We are not divided. We've never been divided. The little countries that have been formed during the Berlin Conference in 1884 to 1885 was just to basically make us be distracted and make us start being divided against each other. But if we come together and basically have a common goal and vision in regards to redefining Africans, it starts with what I'm doing, what you're doing, whatever you are, in regards to relearning and learning, and basically having that Ubuntu ness within us. I can basically um, give the explanation of this word. It's an African philosophy word that was basically emphasizes the importance of community and the sharing of burdens and benefits. It's a core part of an African culture and is integrated into daily life across the continent. And I think if we can do that right now, I believe that's happening, but more of it, mostly in Africa, that would basically be amazing. So, guys, remember, I am because you are. Thank you, Mr. Blackout Fire, for joining today. Your last words before we wind up today on the first
I
day.
am because you are because I am. So if I smack you in the head, you get to smack me in the head back.
Uh huh, for sure. Not really like that, but it's all good. We could work with that, no problem. But guys, let's take back our power. It's about basically having that confidence, understanding, most importantly, our African identity, culture, and with that, I think we're good. It's not going to be fear or anything that can definitely shake you or basically shake us because we understand our culture, we understand where you're coming from, and we understand our mission. So, guys, it's a beautiful Friday, the first date of November. It's November 1st. Super excited about this month. November for blossoming. And happy birthday, Sheila. I hope you're going to continue to blossom and basically grow to being the best version of yourself. And thank you guys for listening on the radio, on YouTube, X, Facebook, on the network. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. Much love. See you next week. Have a beautiful weekend. Eat a lot of alkaline diet, smoothies. Keith, please avoid all the chicken and all the nasty baggers. And please
I,
drink a
I'm
lot of
trying. I'm
water.
I'm trying every time, but I'm not as disciplined as you. Shit, I'm trying my best. Just
Right.
give me give me some grace. God damn it, I'm trying every time.
I'm clapping for you. Please. And guys, remember to download our app on Google Play Store. It's free. And also stream on the www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. On the Google Play Store, click on the star section and the tab will appear the VHFN Sports Store. You'll find amazing page with beautiful different categories of the supplements that we have. We have the one that Keith is using, the Lion's Mane mushroom that goes for $33.90, the turmeric gummies for $22.90, the Seymours for $25.90 under the naturals categories. That's what we have. The Lion's Mane's mushroom, the turmeric gummies, and the Seymours. And under the beauty categories, we have Alpha Energy for $40.90, cognitive support for $29.90, and the colon gentle cleanse for $35 only. And remember, ladies, also get yourself some roshier butter to smoothen your skin and soften it. Aloe cool cucumber soup for $8.25. Much love, family. Take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the wild. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. Take care, kids.
Take care, everybody.